What up, Fightful fam? Shaquille Madjuri here. And damn, Colby Covington has more beef than I have calories for breakfast. It's insane just how many people Colby Covington has rubbed the wrong way. So, ahead of UFC Vegas 11, we are going to take a look at the top 10 beefs of Colby Covington's career. Before we get started, if you don't mind hitting like and tapping the subscribe button and the notification bell, that goes such a long way to helping this channel grow. We really do appreciate it. Number 10. Joe Rogan. This one was rather brief, so we put it at number 10. Joe Rogan spoke with Alexander Gustafsson on the Joe Rogan Experience. During the podcast, Rogan and the Mauler spoke about Covington's bad-mouthing of, at the time, UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones and how it could get Colby in trouble. Rogan warned Covington not to mess with Jones. In retaliation, Colby threatened to smack Rogan the next time the two were face-to-face. That led Rogan to hilariously declare on a subsequent JRE episode, quote, "Colby Covington, don't slap me." Covington eased off the drama, and the two were very jovial during the post-fight interview at UFC 225. Number 9. Ben Askren. Covington and Askren have a not-so-endearing ability to piss people off with their trash talk. That makes it all the more interesting when they go at one another. As far as Funky Ben is concerned, Covington's self-promotion skills are subpar and childish. Quote, "Colby is too stupid to understand how to play his card," Askren told Submission Radio. "He's someone who puts effort into it but is not good at it." Covington has frequently called Askren overrated as a fighter and says his limitations were exposed against Jorge Masvidal. Number 8. Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Do not expect these two to settle things in the octagon. Former UFC strawweight champion Joanna said in the press that Covington should apologize for burning bridges with ATT teammates. Covington did not take Joanna's advice well, calling her washed up and recommending she change her nickname from Boogie Woman to Booby Woman after Joanna got plastic surgery. Number 7. Dustin Poirier. This is a weird one. Covington and Poirier have problems on and off like me and my ex-girlfriend. Their feud first sparked in 2019 when Covington picked Khabib Nurmagomedov to beat his ATT teammate Poirier. Afterwards, Poirier took a jab at Covington for picking fights with ATT teammates. The two started chattering back and forth, with Poirier threatening Covington should they cross paths at the gym. In March 2020, Covington told ESPN things were civil between the two at the gym, but would not be in the streets. The next day, he apologized for getting heated and said things are all good with the Diamond. Fast forward to July, though, and Covington is again calling Poirier fake and a doofus. Number 6. The entire nation of Brazil. The country of Brazil hates Colby Covington as much as everyone, especially my friend Nuge, hates the final season of Game of Thrones. Covington was a heat magnet heading into his fight with Demian Maia at UFC Sao Paulo in 2017. Prior to that fight, Covington was a far cry from the MAGA hat-wearing, Trump-loving personality he plays today. The way Colby tells it, the UFC was not interested in re-signing him due to his allegedly boring style and bland personality. So, after beating Demian Maia, Covington decided to call the Brazilian fans filthy animals living in a dump of a country. He was promptly showered with audible boos and physical boos as fans hurled beer bottles at him on his way to the back. Now, I don't condone the racism, but I can't deny its effectiveness. Number 5. Fabricio Werdum. This may be ranked at number 5, but Covington vs. Werdum boasts arguably the single most memorable encounter of Covington's career. Werdum, along with several other Brazilian fighters, took exception to Covington's remarks about their home country. The two crossed paths outside the hotel for UFC Sydney in November 2017. UFC lightweight contender Dan Hooker captured part of the altercation on camera. Multiple people stood between Covington and Werdum, so the former heavyweight champion responded by whipping out a boomerang and hurling it at Covington's skull. Werdum was later fined $600 in an Australia court. Number 4. Dana White. There was a time where it seemed we would not see Colby Covington in the octagon. Him and the UFC were clearly stuck at the negotiation table. Covington was stripped of his interim title status after being unwilling to fight Woodley at UFC 228 because of a recent nasal surgery. Covington dragged their business firmly into the public eye after fight negotiations broke down in 2019. Kamaru Usman was granted a title shot against Woodley that Covington believed he deserved. Covington threatened to slap the UFC president and went so far as to hunt him down on camera in a Las Vegas casino. Number 3. Tyron Woodley. And speaking of Woodley, let us take a look at the man Covington will fight on Saturday. Covington and Woodley were at one point training partners at American Top Team. After beating Maia in 2017, Covington began taking aim at Woodley. The chosen one struck back, and so began their war of words. In February 2018, Covington appeared at a WrestlePro event and defeated a plump Woodley parody character named Tyron Woodley. The two were expected to fight at UFC 228, but the title was ultimately granted to rising star Darren Till. Number 2. Kamaru Usman. A fight of the year contender between Covington and Usman at UFC 245 alone warrants this rivalry a top spot. The two have been at odds ever since Usman entered the title picture and only escalated after Usman dethroned former welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Usman and manager Ali Abdelaziz famously hunted down Covington at a Palms Casino buffet at UFC 235 weekend. Ali was clearly the aggressor, but it only added a deeper element to the feud between Covington and Usman. The two engaged in a competitive, violent stand-up affair at UFC 245 that ended via 5th-round TKO in favor of the Nigerian Nightmare. And number 1. Jorge Masvidal. These roots run deep. Despite having never met in the octagon, Masvidal vs. Covington is one of the most sincere rivalries in MMA. The rawness elicits memories of John Jones vs. Rashad Evans, two teammates, and more importantly, close friends who were divided by the Hurt Business. Masvidal and Covington were once very close. However, the bad blood began when Covington allegedly ripped off one of Masvidal's coaches. Since then, the two have taken all manners of verbal jabs at one another. Covington has been called, quote, a crotch sniffer, and Masvidal has been labeled, quote, Street Judas. Knowing Masvidal's MO, things are certain to pop off if these two ever cross paths in public. And that is all for today's video. Let us know in the comments section, who do you think is Colby Covington's true greatest rival, and who do you think is going to win at Vegas 11, Covington or Woodley? If you enjoyed this video, the best way you can help our channel grow is by hitting subscribe and tapping the notification bell, and a like on this video never hurts either. I'm Shaquille Majuri, and stay tuned with us for everything Fightful and so delightful.